Hello and welcome to Oweleketv on this wonderful Thursday morning. Well, this is the time when we bring you to speed with the headlines for the day, beginning from the Punch newspaper this morning. My name is Ramsey Enoch and Sadatu, and Michael are right here. Good morning, Sadatu and Michael.
Good morning, Mr. Ramsey. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning. Well, let's begin this morning from the Punch newspaper, where I have this one above the head, and it says, a crude crisis, National Assembly to probe NNPC, Dangote refineries. Details read on page 21. CBN dumps 12-month forex policy with $876 million auction. Details read on page 21. Fuel queue may linger till next week. Marketers are the ones saying that, and you can get the details on page 10 of the Punch newspaper, and that takes me to this one just beside the header, which says oil theft. Reps deny speakers $1.7 million bribe for appointment. Details read on page 7. That is interesting. Well, sometimes these things happen behind closed doors. No one know about it. But then somehow it begins to come to limelight. Whatever it is, I think it should be investigated so Nigerians can know the truth about it. All right, so the big story from the Punch newspaper says a hunger protest lose steam as DSS grills 7 foreigners. 2 riders to that story. Please crack down hot protest. US-UK demand dialogue. Northern governors relax curfew. Then the second rider says Sanusi blames Kano looting on intelligence failure. Attention rises as soldier shoots boy in Kaduna State. That's so unfortunate. Well, I saw that story yesterday and I felt very bad about it. And an interview was conducted with the young man's father, and it was a whole lot of disappointment. This is what comes out of protest. The foreign intervention and the speculations, the flying and hoisting of Russian flag speaks volume. But then I think the federal government in one of the papers this morning say, well, foreigners should actually hold their peace, that whatever it is that is happening is an internal crisis and they are willing to handle it. And finally, from the Punch newspaper this morning, Nigeria urges ECOWAS defense chiefs to curb coup. Details read on page 14. That's not good for our democracy. You remember what's happening in Mali and Niger and the other parts of African country. Is the same thing about to repeat itself in Nigeria? I don't think so, because what people are clamoring for, I don't think it's something that is so good for our democracy. Ben, then the will of the people most times prevail. Let's see what the government will do about the protest, even though everything is going down, curfew been lifted, and some other states are not protesting anymore. Let's get to the next paper, and this is going to be the size of the headlines from the Punch newspaper as we take you to the next paper. Michael?
Oh, thank you. We'll move straight to the Guardian today. The first story, the kicker is higher education on page 6. Amid hurdles, public varsities make 12 billion naira from transcript request in 5 years. Away from that, in another address, Tinubu asks Nigerians to look beyond temporary pains. Details on page 6. Economic sabotage. Senate queries $1.5 billion spent on Port refinery. Details on page 3. Sanusi links Kano violent protest to intelligence failure. Details on page 30. And then don't fund politics with union clues. Ministry tells NLC. Don't fund politics with union dues. Ministry tells Nigerian Labour Congress. That is coming from, and also TUC. Details on page 5. The last story I'll take on the Guardian newspaper today. Grandma, son, grandchildren die after Amala meal in a lorry. That's very sad. But they're poisoned because particularly I eat Amala whenever I go to the West, but may the gentle souls rest in peace. What happened?
Maybe something.
Poison.
Maybe food poisoning,
Yes,
or
food
it was not
poisoning.
properly prepared.
Yeah,
And
prepared, yeah.
you begin to look at one or two things, the kind of water that was used,
Especially with
how
the
was it
cholera
prepared
outburst right
because
now.
of the cholera outburst, how was it prepared, was it properly cooked?
Also,
these
maybe-
are things you
Amala
should
is
look
the
at.
simplest
Also, maybe
food to
maybe
make.
maybe
something
maybe a
happened.
rat that they put otapia fell inside because people are
Or
on
a
the
wild
rat.
gecko.
It's possible. maybe something defecated
Yeah,
inside,
defecated
chemical,
inside.
it could be anything.
And
Maybe
80 'cause-
autopsy should be able to
Yeah,
To
at least
review.
review whatever the situation is. All right, over to you,
That's the
Sally.
size of the package we have on the Guardian. Over to you, Siddharth.
Thank you. Good morning. So let's take a look at the Vanguard newspaper this morning. The first headline says UK assures Nigeria of safety amid riot. NNPCL to Senator, oil and gas industry bleeding. Federal government spends 600 million on fuel importation monthly, says Edu. And then the big story says, stay clear of our internal affairs. Federal government wants foreign powers. I take that again. Stay clear of our internal affairs. Federal government wants foreign powers. I think this came after the protests where Russian flag has been
flown in Kaduna, Kano,
Kano.
Zamfara.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's take two riders to their stories. We are probing 7 Polish nationals arrested over Russian flag in Kano, says DSS. Thugs arrest journalists, beat up protester in River State. And then the next headline says Rep Committee Chair denies giving 1.7 million bribe to Speaker Abba. Detail read on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. And then the last story on Vanguard newspaper said, Tigress soared to 8 in FIBA ranking. That's on sport. I think that's all the package we have on Vanguard newspaper. To get more details, just grab a copy of the Vanguard newspaper.
I think I should be congratulating the Tigers for how far they've been able to go
They got
in the Olympics.
Quarterfinal. They were knocked out by
I think
undefeated USA. yesterday.
Canada, seriously.
That's a
USA,
big one.
Yeah,
That's a big one.
I mean, USA. It was a margin between 77 and 94, but then the D Tigers played very well. Particularly, saw 2 fantastic players. One scored 16, the other one scored 17. I was watching it last night, and they did absolutely well.
It's also impressive because
it was
even
record breaking. The first African continent to get to quarterfinal.
to get to quarterfinal, then you're playing with the United States.
they are undefeated.
United States. Well, coming that far, it's so good for me. I think they did what the men couldn't do.
Absolutely.
The D Tigers, well,
I'm
that's
making us
that.
proud.
Well, she's a woman. They can
Making
always
us
they
proud.
like taking glory. All right, let's get started on the next paper, which is the Daily Trust, and it's going to be the last paper we'll take today. The big story is where I'm starting from. Oil sector, I'll reveal the truth when time comes. What are you talking about, Kyrie? I'll reveal the truth when the time comes. When is the time? When is the time? Nigerians are going through so much, if you ask me. So when is the time that you will reveal the truth? Reveal it now, okay? Because I don't know how long this
cool
queue will
detention,
continue. We heard that
honestly.
it's going to end next week. When is next week? We've been hearing that. Well, this is Carrie talking to Nigerians. 2 riders to that story. Senate probes $1.5 billion spent on Port Harcourt refinery. Remember what this administration told us the first time they came into office? That the Port Harcourt refinery was going to work in December. It didn't work. They said January. It didn't work. Up till now, it has not worked. We heard that some materials were not available, and that was not pleasant to the ears. Now we are hearing that $1.5 billion, I'm not talking about Naira here, was spent on same refinery. It's what probing. Okay, let's see how that is going to go at the end of the day. Then the truth that Carrie want to reveal should be revealed. If this is just an audio statement, let Nigerians know. And the second rider says federal government spent $600 million on monthly fuel importation. And this is coming from the finance minister. That's so huge. And finally, from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, Yobe farmers take delivery of Governor Buni's Agric Empowerment Implements and Inputs. That's so nice because I think a lot of governors are now going back to farming. Agriculture is very, very important. The food shortage that we are having now is because people couldn't go to farm because of insecurity. But if this is happening and the people are able to use these implements and of course inputs, it will be fine. That's the size of the headlines from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Let's go on a quick break. When we return, we'd like to talk about the fact that the federal government is giving warning, all right, to foreigners that they shouldn't intrude in the affairs of Nigeria. Where is this coming from? This is the aftermath of the End Bad Governance protests, and we are hungry hashtag. We'll return with a big story after this break.
Follow us on our social media handles at Oweleketv. Visit our website at www.oweleketv for a thrilling journey. Oweleketv, rising star at the fairground.
Welcome back from that break. It is still Outnumbered live on your screen on this beautiful Thursday morning. Reaching you live on the red from the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, Nigeria. Now, the big story says, stay clear, all right, of our internal affairs. Federal government is warning foreign powers. You know how these things happen. There's been a rumor, okay, that there is an intrusion of foreign powers into Africa, not just Nigeria. Remember what happened in Mali? Remember what happened in just Niger here, our neighbor, the pulling out. Some person, some school of thought has it that there were some backings, or else what happened in this country, the military takeover, wouldn't have been possible. There is a protest in Nigeria. Remember how it started in Niger and these other African countries. It begins with a protest. And more so that there was a clamor. You know, I wasn't surprised at all when I heard that some persons actually sponsored that. We heard that the flag was produced and manufactured in some other states, and it was flagged and hoisted in other states, where they were even clamoring, calling the name of Russian President Putin, that Putin should come to the rescue of Nigerians.
He's his own problem in Russia.
It doesn't matter. You know, no matter what the problem is, when it comes to things like this, they want to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Because they know what they can get out of it. And
like
you know, that's like taking Nigeria back into what didn't happen before 1960. You know, so as it is right now, federal government coming out to say this: stay clear of our internal affairs. It is our business. We know what to do.
They've been found.
They've been found guilty.
FG
but then,
wants.
if FG said they are not just speaking to the Polish alone now, foreign powers, okay, it's been pluralized. Foreign powers. This is a general statement. Could it be that Nigeria may have gotten information that maybe some other countries.
Absolutely.
You know how it happens. There are countries that are actually waiting for loopholes so that they can just come in because of the resources that Nigeria has.
Absolutely.
Nigeria has so much.
Conspiracy theory that all the time the foreign countries, especially the superpowers, always like to interfere, or probably if they need a sport, they need their stronghold in a country, they, push this fight or just agitation or sponsor things like this so that you can get their hold in that country. So I think the federal government is trying to be alert. Yes, it's trying to be alert at this moment.
It's also appalling that Nigeria has got into this state that foreign powers are now trying to infiltrate, like other smaller countries like Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, that of course we saw what happened. When the people clamor for a change and you are constantly doing the same thing, foreign powers will tell you, hey, these people have been saying, remember what happened?
The same thing happened in Niger.
Protest. UN told Nigerians, what are you guys doing at all? So if foreign powers are saying, hey,
don't even go to NSAS, because what happened during NSAS is something that if it is in other nations, it would have been something else. But kudos to the authorities that were able to handle the situation, because it's so bad for someone to carry the national flag, singing national anthem, and at the same time being shot. Even though they were armless. You know what it means. All right. Well, I think the federal government coming to save this is not out of place. It could be that investigation is on. It could be that there have been some intelligent reports, because all hands has been on deck, as a matter of fact, to make sure this situation is actually being arrested. But then, so good that the protest is not going the way people were thinking. The violence thing, even though there have been some pocket of violence in some parts of the country. But the most important thing is that the aim of this protest has not been defeated, because at least the federal government had. If you want to hear more about what's going on as far as the protest is concerned, join us on the review, which is going to be coming after the Outnumbered this morning. And my name is Ramsey Enoch. See you same time, same station tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.